My name is Aimee Newell. I'm curator of collections at the National Heritage Museum in Lexington. I'm standing here in our new exhibit to the Grand Lodge of Masons in Massachusetts, celebrating 275 years of brotherhood. I'm standing here by this reproduction tavern sign from the Green Dragon Tavern that used to stand in Boston's North End. The tavern was a popular community institution with lots of meeting space and refreshments, where the Lodge of St. Andrew, one of Boston's first Masonic lodges, used to meet. This case shows a tall clock from the mid to later 1700s. We think that it was owned by Joseph Warren, who was a prominent general during the Revolutionary War and was also an important Mason in Massachusetts. He unfortunately passed away at an early age during the Battle of Bunker Hill in June of 1775, and we think that this clock was in his house at the time. You can also see a ladle, silver ladle, that has the mark of Paul Revere's shop. Paul Revere was also a prominent Massachusetts Freemason, eventually serving as Grand Master in the state in the 1790s. Today, the Grand Lodge building in Boston stands at 186 Tremont Street, but I'm standing here in this gallery that has a few images showing some of the earlier buildings that were on that spot. Over here, we see a photo of what was known as Winthrop House Hotel and Freemasons Hall, which unfortunately had a pretty devastating fire in 1864, and this photo shows the results of that. The Grand Lodge met on the top 3 floors while the hotel had the bottom 3. Everyone got out safely, but the Grand Lodge did lose a lot of its treasures and documents. Undeterred, they did make a plan to rebuild, and you can see in this print the next building that would rise on that same location. With a very strong Gothic style that was popular during the 1860s. This building was dedicated in 1867, and the Grand Lodge met here for about 30 years until this building too suffered a fire in 1895. At that point, the Grand Lodge once again rebuilt, and the building that still stands there today was dedicated in 1898, and it continues to be an important Boston landmark. And now we come to one of my favorite objects in this show. It's a little bit smaller than some of the other things we've looked at. It's here in this case. It's a little oval pendant, and it's got a nice arrangement of Masonic symbols. This type of art was made by French prisoners of war in England during the Napoleonic Wars. They often used materials that were handy, straw from their mattresses, hair from their own heads, scraps of paper. Somehow it made its way into the collection of 2 prominent Massachusetts Masons, eventually being purchased at an auction by Samuel Crocker Lawrence, who was a former Grand Master in Massachusetts, as well as a former Union general and the first mayor of Medford. Lawrence was quite generous to the Grand Lodge. When he passed away, he bequeathed his entire collection of Masonic books and objects to the Grand Lodge, and in later years, the Grand Lodge Library, which is still located at the Masonic Building in Boston, was named in his honor. This little piece was probably used by the man who made it to remember his Masonic teachings, or it might have been something he made for use during a lodge meeting.